What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we're going to be showing you 20 super helpful tips for Starfield. Let's get into it, shall we? Our very first tip is going to be showing you how to land anywhere on any planet. So whenever you click on planets, usually you can see there are certain areas, like for example the science outpost, that you can land on. But did you know you can land anywhere on this planet? What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set a course for this planet and travel there. We've never been there before. And now that we've traveled to this planet, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring up our map and look at the planet. We're in orbit currently. That means that we're currently in orbit. We could see the science outposts and stuff like that on it. And if we could scan it as well, we're going to go ahead and scan it as well. For example, if you wanted to land where this uranium is, we can go ahead and just left click on desktop. We are on desktop. If it is something different on Xbox, I don't know what the command is for that. But if you look at the bottom right of your screen, you should see a legend that shows you the commands there. So you're going to set the landing target, which for us is mouse 1. And then all you got to do now is just hit X or land, and you can land wherever you just selected. Pretty neat, huh? So once you're on planet side, you can build an outpost. And what you do is you hit your scan button. For computer, it's F by default. And if you look at the very bottom of the screen, you'll see you could place an outpost by hitting R. And once you click that, you'll have a little outpost beacon here that you could place. And it also shows what available resources are nearby. Oh, this is vanadium, iridium, and water on this planet. Left click will turn around the outpost beacon if you want. Right click will turn it the other direction. And E will confirm it. So now you have an outpost beacon, and you could go ahead and hit E on it, or whatever your use button is, and now you can build an outpost. And you could scroll through all the different options available, such as landing pads, weapon racks and displays, crates, furniture, defenses, crafting benches, and structures. And you could go ahead and scroll down to a 4-wall hub and place it if you have the mats. And this is how you build outposts. Also, keep an eye out for aluminum sealant and adhesives, as these are very, very valuable resources that are required for building outposts. Aluminum being one of the rarer ones, and you can buy these at vendors and actually go and harvest them with an extractor. You just find aluminum and scan around on planets, or you can buy them from vendors. One of my favorite places to actually buy mats for building an outpost and whatnot is Alpha Centauri and going to Gagarin. Once you're in Gagarin, go ahead and land at the landing. Once you go into the city, you're going to go straight and just head to this structure right here. It's called Clint's Collectibles. And talk to Clint.
If you're looking for something special.
Clint has a ton of resources for sale. Tons of it. I've already bought all their aluminum they have, but they also sell aluminum here. All kinds of materials. All the materials you're probably going to need. If you have the credits, you could buy them here, which I've been actually buying quite a bit of materials for this video itself. You can also buy everything he has and just come right outside and sit here and set for 48 hours. And then he'll have his inventories refilled again. Next thing we're going to show you is how to kind of peek around corners. If you've got enemies that are sitting right there and you're behind cover like this, you can peek around corners by getting close and then holding the right click or whatever button you zoom in with or aim with. Whenever you come across any kind of medical place or vendor, you would want to buy all the medical supplies you can, and we'll show you which ones you want to buy. Any all health packs, just buy them all up whenever you got the credits. They're really not that expensive, and they're very, very valuable. Immobilizers are also pretty good for your sprains and whatnot. It's not too bad of an idea to grab a few of those as well. And usually on the very bottom, trauma packs as well. They're also really, really good to grab. And what you could do is once you buy all those, then all you gotta do is go to your inventory and go to aid and check out med pack and favorite it. And you can hit B on the computer, or if you look in the bottom right hand screen, you'll see where favorite is. Hit that button and you can favorite to whatever slot you want. And this goes for weapons as well. You can slot weapons and key them. And it's really, really good, especially whenever you need to heal really, really quick. If you go ahead and put it to a key bond, you can key bond it to 0 or whatever you want to bond it to. And then whenever you get low in HP, all you got to do is just hit that key and you can heal yourself without having to go into the inventory and everything else. And you can just keep fighting and doing what you're doing and heal yourself. And like I said, you can key bond and favorite most weapons and items in the game. So now we're going to show you some shipbuilding tips and whatnot. There are different shipbuilding areas, and the more that you progress in your level, the more you can actually learn and unlock and actually purchase from the ship vendors. Ship vendors can repair your whole entire ship for just 1,000 credits. You can also modify and view your ships, and you can sell and purchase ships here as well. On this screen, you'll be able to do the ship builder and also upgrade your ship and rename your ship also. On the bottom right hand of the screen, you'll see you can choose the ship builder. We're going to hit B for us, and this enters the ship builder option. And this is where you can build and add on stuff to your ship. Hit G on PC to add and select the item that you want to add. You also see errors. If you have any problems with your ship, all you got to do is hit C or flight check down here, and it'll tell you what items or errors you have. Just to show you, you can also add items straight to items. So if you hover over that little item right there, see where you can hit G and attach, you can attach and it'll show you what items can actually attach to that item. Like so. Shields, whatever you got room for. And you can attach stuff directly to those items, like so. Which may help a little bit with your building. And also remember, if you want to save on energy a little bit, you can actually just have 2 types of weapons on your ship as well. You don't have to have 3 different types. You can, but you don't have to. Personally, I use laser and missile. I may switch over to laser and ballistics here later with some more testing. Personally, I roll with 2. That's just my own preference, but that is completely up to you. You will see in your flight check that this says ship is missing a weapon assignment, but that doesn't mean that you actually can't just save it. You can exit out and you'll be just fine. You also have some other options here on the right of the screen, like for example, R and F will actually take an item and raise it and lower it on the screen like this, which will make it easier to snap sometimes onto the ship. You can also hit Z and flip items left and right, and hit G to change the item that you want to actually put on the ship. You can only have one of major components like warp drives and shields and whatnot, and you can also duplicate things, and what we'll do is we'll hold left control and we'll hit G for us, which is duplicate, and you can duplicate items easily without having to go through the menu and actually select them. If you back out of builder mode, you can also go to upgrade ship down here on the right of your screen, and this will actually upgrade components in place. So all you have to do is select a component. For example, we're going to go over to our engines here, and we're just going to go ahead and hit E, and it'll show us what engines we can actually place. Select it, and then we'll just exit out and confirm it, and we have better engines now. And you can do that with most components, and it should ensure that it fits properly. And that's just a real quick overview of shipbuilding. There's lots of options for you to choose and things for you to do to your ships, and the more you play the game, the more you'll progress as well as far as ship parts and whatnot. It does seem like certain ports have certain parts, and you can also buy little scanners like this right here at only certain places as well. That's available at the Red Mile. And what this does is it's like a scan jammer, and you could actually jam scans whenever somebody's trying to scan cargo for like contraband and whatnot. And as you can see in the bottom left there, Starship Design, you can also unlock it with Starship Design Rank 2. Craft it yourself, but if you just go to Red Mile, you don't actually have to unlock that. The next tip, anytime that you scan a planet, for example, this planet has been unscanned, we'll go ahead and head to its orbit. Once you get to the planet's orbit, hit M and you can scan. And most of the time when you can scan and see what kind of resources are on the planet. Of course, we just showed you how to land where you wanted to and collect those resources. You can go and build a outpost and harvest them with harvesters. But there's also something else you could do with the scan data, and we're going to show you how to sell scan data. Yes. And spoilers, for you to be able to do this one, you have to actually do this quest into the unknown and talk to Vladimir. Vladimir is going to be able to buy scans from you. And you're going to go to the eye, which is just to the left of Jemison, and you'll dock here. And you'll find Vladimir Saul. So it doesn't seem like you actually have to do the mission. You do have to say your artifact search must be a full-time job. This leads into dialogue that lets you unlock the ability to sell scans.
Wouldn't mind the helper's hand, though. Up-to-date planetary scans would help filter all the data I have to sift through. And Constellation can slide a credit or 2 your way.
Then all you gotta do once you get some scans is come back and say, I've got some survey data for you.
And the darkness gets lit just the candle more.
And we're going to go over to notes, and we're going to sell our data to them for some extra credits. So the way that you get the survey data is to scan the planet up here in orbit, Then you also have to go and scan the resources that you see listed here and any traits that are available on that planet as well. So you have to do a complete scan of the planet. You have to scan the planet, do a scan of all these 5 different resources here, and then all 3 different traits as well on larger planets. There are some planets you can go and just scan, like gas giants and ice giants, because you can't actually land on those. All you can do is scan in the orbit. Let's show you that. For example, this planet right here is a gas giant, and as you can see, there's no resources here or traits. So if we were to actually travel here, looks like we got some things to kill. And now we're here, all we gotta do is scan. And look, it's completely surveyed. You see it says surveyed right here. So we should have now survey data added to our inventory that we can go back and sell. And we're gonna select, we've got some survey data for you, and go to notes, and you can see we can sell that. So a quick 1,300 credits. For the next tip, whenever you unlock the lodge, you have a storage container here, and this storage container does not have a limit. It literally has a infinity mass. So that means you can store as much things as you want. So just sit there and pile it all on. There's also something I'm going to show you that's really neat, and this may or may not change in the future, but we're going to show you anyway. For example, if you have a really, really heavy ship like we do, and it's almost completely full, which is actually almost completely full of resources, there is also a button down here you can see that says take all resources. You can click that and take all the resources from your ship.
Your spinal health will be compromised by carrying so many items.
Thank you, Vasco. Not really, though. Whenever you are encumbered, you lose oxygen, as you can see in the bottom left there. But let me show you something real neat you could do. If you have the lodge already unlocked, encumber yourself from your ship, then just hit M or your map and bring up the map for Jemison here, and you're going to just click on the lodge and click land. And this is going to put you outside of the lodge, and as you can see, our inventory is completely full right now. Now we're going to walk into the lodge, and you're going to see our oxygen is going down really, really, really fast. We're going to go into the lodge. We're going to go straight up the stairs and go straight to the hallway. And if you do start losing health, you could stop like this, or you could continue and keep walking around. I keep walking around. You actually cannot fully die from encumbrance penalty like this. It looks like you can, but you can't. But go straight over to your locker, and now you can store all the stuff you want to. We're going to take all of our resources here, and we're going to store them. And now we're good to go. The next thing we're going to show you is you can actually pick things up in this game. Like with most Bethesda games, you can hold the button that you normally loot with instead of actually just tapping it. Hold it, and then you can move stuff around like this. Then you can hold R or hit R on the keyboard to throw it. Like so. Of course, if you do it with an item that is red, and that means it's not yours or you're stealing, it will still count you as stealing. So for this tip, we're going to show you how to transfer anything to your ship as long as you're within 249 meters from it. You have to be at least 249 meters away from your ship. As you can see right there, we have our ship 249 meters away. If you hit tab and go over to ship here, as long as you're within 249 meters away from your ship, you'll be able to hit cargo hold down here in the bottom corner. And you should be able to hit Q to change to your inventory and transfer resources or whatever you want to that ship. And you can also take stuff from your ship as well. And it doesn't seem like line of sight does matter because we just transferred it through a wall here. We did test line of sight. Doesn't seem like it matters. So as long as you're within 249 meters of your ship, you can transfer things to your ship and from your ship. At most spaceports, you're going to notice that there is going to be a ship services person that can help with your ship, which we showed you earlier. But there's also this little thing he's leaning against, and it's called the Trade Authority Kiosk. And this kiosk is at, like I said, most towns and stuff like that you actually visit. And you're able to sell things straight from this kiosk, up to 5,000 credits. But there is nothing to buy from it, of course. But you can sell it from your inventory or from your ship here by hitting sell or sell from ship inventory. So once you land somewhere, see if you see a little yellow kiosk like this. Usually it's next to the little ship's technician. And you can offload some stuff real quick. Next tip is going to be pick up every single bit of ammo. This is a Bethesda game. There are no weights. As you can see here, we've sorted by weight by hitting Z down here. There's absolutely no weights to any ammos in the game, it seems like. For now, there's no weight, so you can carry literally as much ammo for any gun or every gun that you want to, and you really never have to store ammo. Also, it seems like most notes as well do not have weight also. It seems like the only exception to this is books. Sort it by weight, store the ones that actually do weigh something, and then you can keep the rest of them on you because they don't have any weight. The next tip is that you can use your companion as storage. You can also give them items. This character right here, they can store 135 mass for you. And this counts for if they're actually following you or not. If they're on your ship and just sitting there idly and not actually following you, you can use them as storage as well. So you can also trade items to any character that is currently on your ship. And what you do is just go up to them and hit trade gear.
Ah, yes. Shuffle time.
You're going to hit Q or whatever your inventory is, and you're going to switch over to the item that you want to give the character. We're going to give them a suit, helmet, and some apparel, and a pack. Then you're going to go back to their inventory, and you can hit all to see the items that they have currently on them. Then you just got to highlight over, and then you'll see in the bottom here, you'll see a equip option. For us, it's B, whatever it might be for you, it's different, but you can hit equip, and that will force that character to equip that item, like so. And they'll have the item on. He doesn't have it on right now currently because we're inside the ship, but let me take him outside and show you. And once you're outside, they'll have all the equipment you had on. Pretty neat, huh? Got something too hot to handle? If you stole something, you'll see a little red box here in the corner of it. And you can still sell this, but most people won't buy it unless they're pretty much don't care. And one of those people who don't care is the Trade Authority. Trade Authority is a great place to go and sell all of your stolen goods.
Need something?
And they'll buy all of your stolen goods. They'll even buy your contraband. And we do have a video on our channel about contraband if you're interested. Check that out if you want. Next up, we're going to talk to you about status effects and how to fix them. So once you get a status effect, you're going to see it in the very bottom left of your screen there. Most of the time you'll see little icons and colors and whatnot. We'll show you exactly what that means. Once you hit tab, you're going to see status, and you're going to hit B or whatever your text says there to hit, and that's going to bring up your status effects. On the right hand side, you'll see what the problems are. For example, I jumped off something and broke a leg, and I also have some lung damage that's acute. We also have some ambient heat here, which you really can't do much about except for maybe increase your heat resistance. So how are we going to treat this? So pay attention to the collar here. We're going to go into our aid by hitting I. We're going to hit aid, and we're going to hover over our items that we have available here to cure. If you look towards the bottom of this little box on the right hand of the screen here, you'll see health, and you'll see two little icons, a blue one and a yellow one. As you can see, this item right here has a red icon, and this one has a purple one. This one's blue. Oh, look, that one kind of matches that one. Really, that's the easiest way to tell if something will work and cure what you have, is to match those two icons. So for example, this is going to cure our sprain. If we left click on this and take it, you'll see at the bottom there, it got rid of that blue icon, so we no longer need that. Now we're just going to hover down through here and find something that's yellow. Oh look, here's something that's yellow. We're going to left click on that. Oh look, and it got rid of our lung damage. Easiest way to kind of treat and diagnose your ailments that you have or things that's wrong with you, just kind of match it up with whatever the treatment is. If you look here, the treatment's up here, and down here is where the health is. That's where your ailment was. So if you have something wrong with you, you can match up these two colors, use it, and it should be gone. We'll go back to our status effects, and now all we have is the extreme ambient heat. So we got rid of those status effects, and now we only have the one that we can't do nothing about. Next, I'm going to show you the difference between sleeping and waiting. If you were to sit in a chair or something similar and wait, say for a couple hours, you'll notice that your health doesn't regenerate. And that's because waiting doesn't regenerate health, but sleeping does. Once we get our bed here,
Welcome back. Goodbye.
we're going to sleep in the bed just for a few hours here, and our health is almost nothing. We'll see what it is afterwards. Oh, look.
You're awake. Finally. We have so much to do. No time for sleeping.
And our health completely regenerated. So if you sleep instead of wait, you can actually regenerate your health as well if your health is low. Also, anytime that you sleep, you get a buff from doing so. And if you sleep and you look at your status effects, you'll also get a 10% XP gain buff. So sleeping before you go off and do a mission or doing something where you kill and get a lot of XP would be a very wise thing to do. For this tip, if you hit tab and go over to your skills, which is in the top right corner here, you'll notice that there's several skills that you can learn. And what I'll say about skills is that you need to start skills as soon as you can, okay? We're going to have a guide here very shortly about skills and what ones we suggest, and hopefully have that out within the next day or so. We'll put a link up top here whenever it's available. But please start on your skills as soon as you can. The reason why is because most skills require you to complete a task or progress before you can progress to the next level. For example, with this ballistic rank 2 into rank 3, we would need to kill 50 enemies with a ballistic weapon to do this. Same thing goes for this commerce 3 into 4. We gotta sell 150 items, which isn't really that hard to do, but you still have to progress through skills. So start skills as soon as you can and start looking at what skills you want to unlock. Your companions also have skills. In this same screen right here, you're gonna go down to your ship again, and you're going to go to crew down here. It's C for me. And this will show all of the current followers you have and where they're currently assigned to. You can also unassign from here. If you look in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see the guide or legend down here that will show you how to do so. For me, it's R, and we're going to unassign, for example, the Adoring Fan from there. And then we can just click on it again and assign them to home, which is the only spot that we have currently available. And they have skills also. If you look here, every character has its own skill. Barrett does starship engineering, particle beam weapon systems, robotics, and gastronomy. Sarah does astrodynamics, lasers, leadership, and botany. Come here, you can assign them, unassign them, and sort them however you want to, and your followers have skills as well. My next tip is loot it all. Take everything you can and use what you want, sell what you don't. Everything is worth money in this game, and weapons especially. Weapons are worth a ton of money. Everything that you and your companion can carry, loot everything and sell it all. You'll make tons of credits that way. And we're just going to come over to our favorite place, Crix, and go into it. And we're going to go to the key right here next to Savorov. Head into the depot.
You need credits? Hit up the
And all these vendors have close to like 10,000 credits. This one only has 5,000, but most of them do have more than 10,000 credits. And what you could do is after you sell all your goods and whatnot, right here outside the clinic, you could sit at a chair and wait for 48 hours, 24 and then 24 again, and then the vendors will be restocked again with credits. So yeah, this is one of my absolute favorite places to sell, and Zurus here has one of the largest credit pulls out of all vendors at 12,500. They buy everything. They buy contraband, they buy stolen items, so you could sell a lot of stuff that you picked up and get a lot of credits while you're doing so. And by doing this, we actually just leveled up our commerce to level 4, which is pretty cool. And we're going to try to say this with as little spoilers as we can, but to get to Crix and actually have options to sell in the Crimson Fleet and to actually participate in the Crimson Fleet, you kind of need to get yourself arrested and then progress through the USAC quests and whatnot, and you can become a double agent. That's kind of what I am currently. Pirates aren't hostile against me, and I don't really attack them. And USAC's also not hostile against me. So kind of just progress through your missions and you can get to the option to be able to sell here. If you want to sell here at Crimson Fleet, if not, there's plenty of places to sell. Next, we're going to show you how to steal ships. Yeah. So here's one way to steal a ship. Once you find the ship that you want to steal, or if you come into combat with somebody who is hostile, you can lock onto them and take down their shields. And we knocked out the shields. Now we just need to knock the engines out. Once the engines are knocked out, now you should be able to dock it by hitting R. And we'll kill the crew. And then you can take over the ship. Bear didn't like that. The ship will heal up to the point where you can drive it again. And then if you hit M or map, so now all we gotta do is warp to another system. Set a course just somewhere random. And that should save it as our ship. And once it becomes your ship, you'll notice that all your inventory goes into that ship. Even if it's too much for that ship to carry, you just won't be able to add anything. You could take stuff out of it though. Your mass can be larger than your actual storage. It just gets transferred over when you take over the new ship. Of course, if you want to go back to your old ship, then you can just go to any port and switch over to another ship. Whichever ship you want. This is the one we just took over and the current ship we have. And we're going to switch back over to the one we had before by, in the bottom right corner, we're going to click on H, which is make a home ship. And that's our home ship now. And sometimes when you land on planets, you'll see or hear ships landing. Oh, there it is. And you'll just want to go over there and steal their ship real easily. And we're just going to kind of sneak onto this ship. This is actually a non-hostile ship. Sometimes you'll have to clear out the cockpit and the whole entire area and then steal it. If it's a hostile crew like the Elliptic or Spacers. But with this one, we could just steal it. So you can steal landed ships like this. Oh look, we got another one we could steal. This one actually just interfered with us getting out of orbit. And then you could just take over the ship. So you can steal ships as much as you want. So the next thing we're going to show you is kind of a spoilers. We're going to show you all 4 of the major cities. The first place being on Alpha Centauri. It's the very first place you show up at when you start the game, of course. And it is located right here on Jemison. And you'll see it. It's right here, New Atlantis. And you could transport here. Next system we're looking at is the Cheyenne system. And we're looking at Aquila. And this is home to Aquila City. And this is Aquila City. The next system we have is Vol 2. And you're looking for Vol 2 Alpha. That is the location of this place. And this is Neon City. Sin City. And the final city is in Crix. And you're looking for the key right next to this location right here. And this is kind of like a space station, so you'll dock here. And this is the key.
Hi. Please disregard. I attempted an informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied.
Need something?
This is where the pirates are. And our last tip for today is going to be going to Aquila and Aquila City. And what we're going to do is once you come to Aquila City for the first time, you're going to go through some quests and whatnot, progress through that, and you can get to the point where you're okay with the free star. So you just head to the rock here, and once you do those quests and you can unlock the missions on the board, you could just sit there and repeat the missions over and over again and get tons of credits and experience from doing so. Right here is the free star mission board. And what you can do is you just sit here and complete these quests. There's several different types of quests, like rescuing hostages and killing pirates and stuff like that. For example, we're going to go ahead and sit here and rescue a hostage. We're going to have to disable this ship. Very nice. And we're going to dock. That's kind of a crappy design. And then we should have a hostage here that we just need to set free. All the day's work, man.
You rangers. Now,
And that's 2,000 credits in XP.
I need to get back to my route.
And then you could just go back to the board and get you another one, or you could do multiple ones at a time. So you can go through and take the whole entire board if you want, and then just do them one at a time. That would be perfectly fine too. That's a decent way to get credits and experience when you first start out. And that's it for this video. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Subscribing will get you Starfield content just like this. Also, if you have any questions about the game, just comment down below. Either myself or somebody else will answer them. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.